Good afternoon all. So today we are going to discuss about dark field microscopy in methodology. So you are already familiar with dark field microscopy and various other types of microscopy in detail in the last year. So we can once more again discuss the microbiology, which is the branch of science that has so vastly extended and expanded our knowledge of living world, owes its existence to Anton van Leeuwenhoek. Due to this, because of the discoveries or experiments made by Anton van Leeuwenhoek, this microbiology, the branch of science, have become so vastly extended. In 1693, with the aid of a crude microscope, which consists of a biconcave lens enclosed in two metal plates, Leeuwenhoek introduced the world the existence of microbial forms of life. So once more I am again explaining a brief about this microbiology. Over the years, microscopes have evolved from the simple single lens instrument of Leeuwenhoek, and it has been converted with a magnification of 300x to the present day electron microscopes, which are capable of magnifications greater than 250,000x. The microscopes are designated as either light microscopes or electron microscopes. Light microscopes use visible light or ultraviolet rays to illuminate specimens. They include bright field, dark field, phase contrast, and fluorescent instruments. And this is similar to ordinary light microscope. However, the condenser system is modified. But the condenser system is modified so that the specimen is not illuminated directly. So we can't illuminate the specimen directly because the condenser system is modified. The condenser in the dark field microscopy, what happens? The condenser directs the light obliquely, not straight, obliquely, so that light is deflected or the light can be scattered from the specimen. When it falls on the specimen, the light got scattered, which then appear as bright against the dark background. In order to get a dark background, we are using a type of condenser system. The living specimens may be observed more readily with dark field than with bright field microscopy. So we can observe living specimens more clearly using dark field microscopy with the help of a special condenser system. A dark field microscope is arranged so that the light source is blocked off, causing the light to scatter as it hits the specimen. When it's hitting the specimen, it gets scattered. This is ideal for making objects with refractive values similar to the background. So this is ideal for making objects with special refractive index similar to the background appear, and the background appear the bright against the dark background. So this is ideal for making objects with refractive values. When light hits an object, the rays are scattered in all directions. So when the light hits an object, the rays are scattered. The design of this dark field microscopy is such that it removes the dispersed light. So the dispersed light is removed so that only we get the scattered beams of light which hit the sample. The introduction of a condenser. So mainly in the dark field microscopy we are telling about this condenser or a stop or annular stop below the stage, and it is placed below the stage. It ensures that these light rays will hit the specimen at different angles. So because the light rays are passed obliquely, that's why the light rays reaches the specimen at different angles rather than the direct light source above or below the object. And it may result in a type of light called cone of light, where the rays are diffracted or reflected and refracted off the object, ultimately allowing the individual to view a specimen in a dark background. So next is about, so we can discuss about how the light enters. So when the light enters the microscope for the illumination of the sample, here I have shown a small diagram. A specialized size disc that is called patch stop. It blocks some light from the light source and it leaving an outer ring of illumination. A wide face annulus can also be reasonably substituted at low magnification. And this condenser lens, it focuses the light towards the sample or specimen. So we can see this is the microscope objective and the light is diffracted, and the direct light, this is the direct light. It is blocked by the objective aperture, and this is the light which is diffracted, and it forms a hollow cone of light. The light enters the sample. Most is directly transmitted. Some are scattered. The scattered light enters the objective lens. We can see that the scattered light which enters the objective lens, while the directly transmitted light misses this lens and it is not collected due to the direct illumination block. Only the scattered light go on to produce the image. So image is produced by the scattered light. Directly transmitted light is omitted. The dark brown microscope, we make use of dark ground microscope. It's a special type of compound light microscope. And again once more discussing, it has a central circular stop. That is the peculiarity of this condenser, which have a central circular stop and it illuminates the object with a cone of light. And this is the most essential part of dark ground microscopy. The microscope uses reflected light instead of transmitted light, which is used in the ordinary light microscope. And also it prevents light from falling directly on the objective lens. The light rays falling on the object are reflected or scattered onto the objective lens, with the result that the microorganisms now it may appear brightly stained with a dark background. Next is about the uses of dark field microscope. The dark ground microscope has the following uses. It is useful for the demonstration of very thin bacteria such as spirochetes, treponema, etc., which is not visible under ordinary illumination, since the reflection of the light makes them appear larger. And this is a frequently used method for rapid demonstration of Treponema pallidum in clinical specimen. Treponema pallidum is responsible for causing syphilis, which is a sexually transmitted disease. It is also used for the demonstration of motility of flagellated bacteria and protozoa. Another use is, it is used to study marine organisms such as algae, planktons, diatoms, insects, fibers, hairs, yeast and protozoa, as well as some minerals and crystals, thin polymers and some ceramics. And it is also used to study mounded cells and tissues. It is more useful in examining external details such as outlines, edges, grains, boundaries and surface defects than internal structure. So, surface defects and external details can be viewed more clearly using dark field microscopy. Now, what are the advantages of dark field microscope? It is a very simple, effective technique. It is useful for, suited for the uses involving live and unstained biological samples. So, this unstained as well as live biological samples can be observed, such as the smear from a tissue culture or individual, waterborne single cell organisms, etc. Considering the simplicity of the setup, the quality of the images obtained from this technique is impressive. The dark field microscopy techniques are almost entirely free of artifacts due to the nature of the process. A researcher can achieve a dark field by making modifications to his or her microscope. Now, Apart from this advantage, there are some disadvantages, limitations. So what are the limitations? The main limitation of dark field microscopy, it is the low light levels seen in the final image. Then sample must be very strongly illuminated. Sometimes it can cause damage to the sample also. So these are the two main limitations of the dark field microscopy. So that's all about dark field microscope. Thank you all.